How do you hold assisted living facilities accountable for neglect or poor conditions? Filing a complaint may seem daunting, but here's how to navigate the process step by step. There are really two main ways to do this, and each state has a regulatory body who's responsible for monitoring assisted living facilities. This probably could be number one, the State Department of Health or Aging, and many states they will have a department that oversees health and safety in assisted living facilities or residential care homes. For example, this could be the Department of Health, the Department of Aging, or the Department of Social Services in some states. Second is the Long-Term Care Ombudsman program. This is a state-appointed office that advocates for residents in long-term care settings, including assisted livings. And these states that use this, they often have a specific office who's responsible for the licensing and regulation of assisted living facilities and care homes. You can file a complaint with them if the facility is not following state regulations, and your state DHS website will usually guide you to which one is correct. In California, it's the California Department of Social Services, Community Care Licensing Division. In Florida, it's the Agency of Healthcare Administration, or AHCA. And in Texas, it's the Texas Department of Aging and Disability Service, DADS. New York, it's the New York State Department of Health, the Bureau of Health Facility Compliance. In New York, it's the New York State Department of Health, and it's the Bureau of Health Facility Compliance. It's different everywhere. But before filing a formal complaint with an outside agency, it's often a good idea to try to resolve the issue directly with the facility. You can start with speaking to staff members or management at the facility and just address your concerns clearly and provide any necessary details or documentation. And then, if you are going to move forward, you need to gather all of the information on what happened and why you're doing this, and keep a record of the situation, especially when you brought it to them and nothing was solved, including dates, names, and any information that you can, any correspondence you've had with the facility or any interactions in that way. Obviously, get the information on the facility and the dates of the specific incidents so that you can reference them. And of course, any evidence will be good, like photos, medical records, or witness statements. You really need to paint the picture of the nature of the complaint, i.e., like neglect, abuse, or a violation of state regulations, or even just poor living conditions. And then go ahead and make the report. But without proof, it's going to be a weak case. It doesn't matter what you feel or what you think, you're going to need proof. Usually there are a few options. You can mail in the complaint, you can send it in online, or you can go in person to a local representative and report the abuse on a hotline, maybe even by the phone. Usually there are a few options when it comes to how you can report this. You can mail in the complaint, you can send it in online, you can go in person to a local representative, or you can report the abuse on a hotline by the phone. Some states allow anonymous reporting, so you're going to need to look in to see if your state does that, if you want to remain confidential. If you want to know the biggest myths in assisted living, check out this video right here on YouTube next. The most important thing to remember is that you need to follow up. Many complaints can get lost in the system, and if this is a serious situation, you'll want to make sure that it's been received and it's been looked into and that they're taking it as seriously as you are. Because just because you complain or report an assisted living facility does not mean it's going to get shut down overnight. Many times it will just become something that the state inspector will look into when they come over for their annual unannounced visit. And it's very common for facilities to function and run with 5 or more deficiencies and never get shut down. If you need to consider legal action in cases of elder abuse, neglect, or mistreatment, don't be afraid to contact a lawyer who can help protect the residents' rights and initiate that legal action against the facility. Some regions have legal aid organizations that offer free or low-cost services to help residents and their families navigate through these legal issues related to elder care. It's a very serious situation. The basic steps are just that: identify the agency, provide detailed information, and follow up. If your loved one is experiencing abuse or neglect or a bad situation at their assisted living facility, look for alternatives. A local residential assisted living may be the way to go. There are better ratios, more hands-on care, less residents, so they're paying closer attention to what's going on. No one deserves to have terrible treatment in the end of life. And if this is happening to you or a loved one, it's time for you to take action. Check out this video next, and I'll see you next time.